still lots of people still walking. Well, good morning, everybody, on this unseasonably, is it September or are we still in summer weather?
July 31st.
July 31st? Carolyn is still out swimming in lakes right now.
That's right.
So, I'm John Moody. I'm your musical director today, and we are joined again with Carolyn Keeble and her minivan of oddities and curiosities. We have Kay Sato on the piano today. We've got Barb Galati is going to be song leading for us, and why not? I'll be doing the special music. So, if you're able, please stand as we start our congregational selections.
Everywhere and always I am spirit Good morning. It's a great day, isn't it? I'm Joe Daly. I'm your platform person for today. And I want to welcome everybody that's here in the sanctuary, as well as anybody that's joining us via the YouTube or via our live stream. So welcome aboard today. And if you haven't already done so, please silence your phone. The other day I was at a very important gathering, and I asked my phone to turn itself off. And it did it rather loudly in the middle of all of this. So I want to thank everybody that's involved in bringing this service into being, our volunteers and our paid professionals back here, our music team, the folks up in the bookstore, hospitality, PowerPoint, ushers, yeah, all these good people. We greatly appreciate your energy and expertise. Now, if you're a first-time visitor, first-time attendee, there's a little piece of paper that looks like that in the pew pocket in front of you and asks for some information, how you found us, what brought you here today, and most importantly, how can we support you as you go forward in your spiritual journey. And if you are willing to share that with us, please fill it out and give it to one of the ushers as you leave. So, announcements. Now, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think it's pretty interesting that I get to be on the platform during some very interesting moments. Reverend Judy's last day, when I got to announce that Reverend John would agree to become our minister, senior minister. And today, Reverend John McLean is here. So I look forward to this new era here at Unity of Kalamazoo with positive anticipation, and I'm just interested to see what happens. So, and I didn't mean that the way, yeah, I don't know. So speaking of positive anticipation, next slide, please. We are having a potluck to welcome Reverend John aboard. And there's 3 things on here that Tracy would definitely want me to let you be reminded of. Please bring your own place settings. Please bring a dish to pass, and you can sign up for that in the lobby out there on the counter. And sign up to let them know that you are coming so that we can have a head count for this situation. The DEI book study. So something new and different this time around. You can pick one or all or 2 of these books. I've read Gender Queer, and I'm working on Becoming Nicole. Now, Gender Queer is a graphic novel, but that does not mean it's a comic book. There's plenty of words and information, and I learned a lot while reading that. So, and the discussion is November 9th. Near and dear to my heart is choir, and it's not too late to join pretty much anytime, and always looking for more male voices especially. And on October 26th, we have the annual meeting, and at that meeting we will affirm the new nominating team members as well as vote for board members. That we have 2 great candidates for the 2 people that are coming off. And very importantly, we will look at the budget and the financial state of our church. And that same day, we begin the Attitude of Gratitude food drive. So that nice pile of food over there will be over here. And that's for loaves and fishes. Please, no expired items. And no glass. That was the other thing. Now, if you'll join me in our mission, vision, and core. Yes. Yeah. So what Tina's saying back there is pop-top cans, rather than having to have a thing like that. I'm not sure why this slide is in here, but it is, and those are the hours when Tracy is here. Great, fabulous. And if you'll join me in our mission, vision, and core values, as an all-inclusive community, We awaken to spirit, grow into our souls, and build a better world. Our vision, we celebrate a world of ever-awakening consciousness, abundance, peace, and love for all. And our land and labor, or core values, love, authenticity, stewardship, oneness, and playfulness. Now our land and labor acknowledgement. Our spiritual community acknowledges Black, Indigenous, people of color whose lands and labor were forcibly taken. We pledge to promote understanding, equity, justice, and inclusivity. And the children's blessing for any that might be in the sanctuary or out in the community, and rub your hands together, get some energy going. As you go your way, know that you are loved, special, and important to us.
I didn't know. Okay. I'm prepared for the talk. I just didn't know what we were doing now. And I read the daily word, and then I do a meditation. Okay. All right. Great. Would I like what? No, I'm good. Thank you. Just your emotional support is more than enough for me. The daily word. Does anybody know what it is? Beautiful. Sunday, September 28th, 2015. Good morning, artists. Hi. Beautiful. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. When I am fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean, I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It is truly a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is also within me. I'm going to repeat that. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is within me. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live in the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I am radiant spiritual being, an individuation of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and all others, because we are beautiful. And from Psalm 27, one thing I asked of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, and to behold the beauty of the Lord. And let's have a few moments of meditation and then some silence, shall we? So if you choose to, you can close your eyes. I know I like to, so I'm not distracted by the radiance of your beautiful faces. I didn't say the frightening aspect of your faces, just the radiance of your beautiful faces. Breathe deep. Well, that's enough beauty in itself. The ability to breathe easily, to be at peace, to be at home within the body temple, to be able to see again the radiance of each other's countenance is a gift in itself. And yet there is more, there is so much more. As I drove into the parking lot this morning, there were 3 deer feeding at the back. Behold, that even deer know that this is a place of peace and safety, and indeed beauty. For as we know, Creator God beheld its work and said, "It is good." And that includes me and you and everything. So for 1 minute together in the silence, let's simply experience the beauty and the ease of life itself. And I shall live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, and behold the beauty therein. And breathe deep, fly high, seek peace. And together the people said, Amen. Amen. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Good morning. My name is John McLean, and it's the delight of my life that I get to speak the perennial words that heal, prosper, and bless. I am here because I believe in God, one absolute, inexhaustible, creative principle. I believe that the kingdom of God is within, and we experience this kingdom to the degree we become conscious of it. And I believe in the givingness of life to all. That's how I start all my talks. Just to, get used to it. Right? And I've been doing so for a very long time. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. And Joe did mention that this is a new something or other in the history of this church. And that's a very profound thing, at least it is for me. It's a new chapter for me, a little bit of an adjustment for you. Not a terribly big one, but a little bit of an adjustment. And yet it is another chapter. It's simply another chapter in the book that goes on. I do have to acknowledge one person that's here today. This is Reverend Doug LeBeau, who's in the biker gear. And Reverend Doug and I started at the Los Angeles Church of Religious Science in 1985. We have known each other for 40 years, first as a civilian. And he drove his bike, you don't drive, you ride your bike, all the way from Detroit, Michigan, to be here today with us. So thank you. Thank you, Reverend Doug. Sometimes people say, what do you talk about? And I generally talk about whatever was up during the week for me. So there's topics are inexhaustible. You never run out of things to say, especially if you miss the mark as often as I do. But I'm also on 2 Zoom calls with other ministers, and I found fascinating that on both of the calls, and some of the ministers are from Canada and some from all over the country, that both of the calls were focused on how do you stay centered and what resource do you draw on when things are troubling or we are in troubled times, quote unquote. For me, that is a very simple answer. And yet I was able to witness and support other people as they talked about a whole variety of things that were troubling to them, disturbing to them. I am sure that I probably share with most of you that these are times that are different than we expected when we were a mere 35 years old. I just remember thinking, oh my God, by the year 2025, there'll be flying cars and there'll be a symphony orchestra in every town and college will be free for everybody. And life is just very different than what I thought it was going to be. The only thing, and this is what you're going to hear from me 365 days a year if you talk to me that often, that I need to remember is the truth of you, is that there is that of God in you. There's a unity affirmation that we used to say all the time when I worked at Silent Unity, is that nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. My mind might be disturbed, my feelings might be hurt, my heart might start beating, but nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. And I can't hear anything other than that from anybody. Because my spiritual practice makes a great demand on me to have extremely high standards. That's why it's a spiritual demandment on me. It's not relative to anything except the divine itself. And this is a place of practice. Even though we are tempted always to find reasons why I can't be in my practice, it's too hard for me, I will always lovingly say, but yes, you must. For such a time as this, you have been in this church for who's been here for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Anybody? Yes. For 40 years we've been in this practice. The teacher of my first teacher always used to say, never sacrifice principle, not even for a special occasion. His name was Dr. Robert Bitzer. Never. I had a minister friend in Santa Fe who said, I'm so upset I can't even be in my practice. I said, of course you can. And you can be both. But you never set aside the truth of your being. Not for anybody, not for any reason. Most of us, if not all of us, most of us, maybe our music team is too young to remember this, but I remember the 60s. And I was young, and so it was exciting. But I can guarantee you, if I was my current age in the 1960s, I would look at it as a violent, nasty time. It was, yes? Cities burned. It was a hard time. We've been around this block in our lifetimes. And what we know is that the wheel is always turning. The great wheel of life, the great wheel of karma is always turning. And so for the last many decades, we've been very blessed that we've been in a fairly peaceful arc. But you know what is not turning is the truth of you, is never turning. It is always constant. Because God is the creative principle that creates, sustains, and endlessly recycles the entire cosmos. It does not change, and that is my anchor. And I'm always going to be reminding you that you have an anchor. It is a tool for you to use. And I don't know how you define your higher power. That's between you and your conscious and the Creator. Whatever it is, if it's the right thing for you, then it's the right thing for you. If it's 100% reliable. But one of my anchors is that life will be to you what you are to it. Because that's the way God, the creative principle, functions. And our practice is one of self-accountability and self-responsibility. And so when I am not liking what I am seeing, I need to go back to my anchor. Because in the last analysis, nothing else matters. And nothing lasts forever. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who I quote regularly, so that's another thing you might need to get used to, said, "It is easy in the world to live after the way of the world, and it is easy in solitude to live after one's own, but it is the great one who in the midst of the crowd keeps with the independence of solitude." And what's the solitude about? The solo, the one thing. Well, that's Christ within, the calm peace of your soul. The truth as you understand it. The thing that you bring back to your memory all the time when we're in the midst of the crowd and things are chaotic, that whatever else is going on around me, is so be it. But it doesn't have to touch me. It doesn't have to affect me. Because I'm committed to my understanding of the world. My worldview is built on the spiritual principle that whatever I need is available to me when I make a demand on that. So, yeah, these are different times than I expected. And they're very dangerous times for some of us. I have a great friend who's an attorney, bless you, who was born in Los Angeles, of Mexican parents, has an extremely successful practice, and yet she knows enough to not be willing to go to Home Depot. Because she might be grabbed. Doesn't matter that she's an attorney and works for the state of California. Doesn't matter that she's been here for 70 years. These are different times. It was a nice little punctuation mark, whoever that was. That was a little angel punctuation. They are different times. And you are capable. We all are individually capable of doing whatever it needs to be done, because I cannot be thrown off balance. You know, I can tell right now. See, I'm not used to a platform like this. So, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go sidebar. So now I'm making it up when I'm standing over here. You know, we always talk about wanting to live a balanced life. Guess what? That's a fiction. There's no such thing as a balanced life. It's a dance. Sometimes you're leading and sometimes you're following, even if you're being dragged around. But sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow. But what's important is that we all remember what is the one thing that is most important for me to do, what is mine to do. It doesn't matter if it's your spiritual practice, your volunteer activities at church, your work life. There's always one thing that you really need to get done every single day. And to remember that, well, that's an anchor in itself. That's an anchor in itself. Community. How do I be in community? Not just in the world at large, but in a more personal kind of community. How do I do that when things are different? Well, you know, the best way to do that is to remember that there is that of God in you. There's that of God that is you. And to act accordingly. And that as we are never really in isolation, of course, when we're in community, we're not in isolation at all. But we're in a community is always to remember the Serenity Prayer. Does anybody know the Serenity Prayer here? I happen to belong to several 12-step groups myself. And it's God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, which is everything. Every person and everything. I cannot change. I have no energy, no authority over anything. The courage to change the things I can. What is that? Me. Me, my behavior, my thoughts, and my reactions about all the way you're doing it wrong. When it's really none of my business to begin with what you do with your life. And the wisdom to know the difference. In reality, it's really pretty clear when you break it down like that. You know, I'm not here to take anybody's inventory. I'm not here to tell you all the way you're doing it wrong. Even though I'm sure some of you might be thinking, I'm doing it all wrong right now. I accept that. It's okay. Because it's just not what you're used to. But there is no right or wrong, really. It's about honoring other individuals to know that, yes, we're generally doing the best we can with the light we have at the time, and to pray that everybody gets a fair shake at life. In this particular community, yeah, we are. I mean, it would be silly of me not to acknowledge that, yes, this is a new chapter. And your board president made me sign a 3-year contract. I've never done that before. But I said, sure, if you don't think you're going to get tired of me within, 3 years, sure. That's good with me. And I have to tell you, I've asked professional friends who have PhDs in organizational development and executive recruiters and stuff, and I said, what's the professional word to share with people to say you're tickled about having a new job? And they said, I guess it's tickled. There is no professional designation. But I do want you to know that I'm tickled that I get to be here with you too. I know that some of you will be wondering, is he going to change things? And anybody live in New York City or a city where there's a subway ever? Okay, in the back and in the front. All right, great. So if you grew up in New York City and you ride the subway a lot, one thing that you know for sure is that when you ride the subway and you're hanging on, and this is true even for a bus, right? You're hanging on to a strap. In order for it to be a fairly smooth ride, it's my responsibility to keep my knees flexed. So when I go over bumps, I just kind of go over bumps easily. Because if you've been on long subway, yeah, someone's agreeing with me. But if I get on the subway and I'm holding on to the poles like this and my knees are locked and I'm completely inflexible, the ride is going to be like the whole time. And it happens to be a great metaphor about going through life. We aim to be flexible, don't we? We want to think, thank you, Val. That was you, yes, thank you. Yeah, that's what we aim for. Why? Because what's your anchor? I'm an expression of the living God. What do I care if the piano's here or here? What difference does it make? And what I want to do with my life and how I hope to contribute. And what many of us are working on now, what legacy I'm going to leave. Well, I could live my legacy too, couldn't we? Yeah, we need to be right now. Yeah. That's what's important. That's what's important. To be in community is a unique privilege, especially a spiritual community. And what I have learned is that fellowship is an emergent property of community, and it happens when we encourage each other on our journey. And so we have the opportunity for real live fellowship here. Sistership. But it only happens. It's not a guarantee. It's something that we get to make. And it happens when we encourage each other on our journey. And sometimes we can joke about prayer support. But here's another sidebar. And this was so foundational to me in my development. When I was at Unity School, a gentleman named James Dillard Freeman was still living. He had worked with Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, and he was 90-something and passed very shortly after I graduated. And somebody asked him some question, and he said, people would come to Unity Village, and Charles Fillmore passed in 1946. And they would come to Unity Village and want to meet Charles Fillmore and ask him all these esoteric questions and what did he think of this or that or the other thing. And he would never engage any question from anybody, but he would always say to the visitor, "What are you working on?" That, because he understood that we are made in the image and likeness of God, and God is the creative principle of the universe. So the only thing that matters is, what are you working on right now? Whether it's to start a new business, to heal a relationship, whether you're working on a physical healing or something of that nature, or creating a new piece of music, or anything. The only thing that matters is, what are you working on? And so that's what we can be for each other, is that reminder that when I come to church, I want to be able to tell people what I'm working on and receive affirmation for it. I don't know if we all had the same parents, but whenever I had an idea when I was a kid, it was like, "Are you out of your mind? Who do you think you are? I just don't want you to get hurt. You're never going to achieve such and such." We're not here to play that card. No, not allowed. That's what your well-meaning but disempowering friends are for. Oh, bless her heart, right. What are you working on? I've got an idea to do this. I'm healing this situation. I'd like to take this trip. Great. I see you whole and successful. I promise I will talk about this almost never. But one thing that I so appreciate about being in an AA group for 40 years is that when anybody walks in and is struggling, every single person in that room knows that I did it, you can do it. It can be done. You can do it. It is a place of fierce affirmation. And at its very best, church is a place of fierce affirmation. That's what you will get from me. Not demand, right? But affirmation is that you can do it. What? Because I know there is that of God that is you. Not a joke. There's nothing facetious about that. It's a revelation that there is that of God that is you. Being in the world, being in community, being with oneself. How do I be with myself when maybe I'm not feeling 100%? When maybe I'm not feeling up to the task? Well, again, my anchor is to not forget that there is that of God in me. And if even I don't feel like it at the time, it remains true. And that begs yet another profound question. When I say I don't feel like it, who is that? Who's the I that's talking even? Well, Walt Whitman said that I contain multitudes, and so be it. I contain multitudes. But however I identify the I of me, it's not a capital letter I. It's not a capital S self. It's a small self. It's a relative self. It's a merely human self. But I am, in all capital letters, I am so much more than that. And that's the good news. And that's what cannot change. My anchors don't change because my spiritual practice demands that I not ever set it aside, that there is that of God that is me. And that whatever I'm up to in my life, I am more than capable of handling it. Maybe not right this very second, and maybe not even tomorrow, but always in the fullness of time, if you'll pardon that expression, it always works out. And Kay, would you be willing to join me? Do we know the song "I Am So Blessed" in this church? Would you just play the melody through once for me? Because this also is an anchor for me. Just go ahead when you're ready. I'm so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. What better anchor do you need? I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Let's do that again, Kay, would you please? Reverend Doug taught me this. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Thank you, Kay. Yes? I know that I'm going to have to go to the DMV this week. And I'm going to have to sign some papers. And I'll be going to Walmart and other places. And it might not be easy for me to remember that, well, by God, woman, there's that of God in me. Don't you recognize that? Why should I be waiting online here? But I have adopted it as an anchor practice to keep singing that song to myself. Because, you know, we know what's going on in planet Earth, both in this country and in other places. And if you got here today, you're healthier and you're wealthier than 99% of the other people on this planet. And that song helps me remember that I am so blessed. I'm blessed to be here with you. I am blessed to receive this invitation from you to get to work here in this capacity. I am so grateful that I get to have yet another chapter in my life that I thought I was retired from. I am so blessed to know that this very day, 4 years ago, was my last day in Nashville, Tennessee. And I never expected to be in this position again. And yet all it is a magnificent blessing for me. I'm grateful that we will have time together over the years. And I thank you for being here today. Thank you, friends.
Take a deep breath, please. I enjoy laughing, and that was good, and that was deep, and that felt good in here for me. Thank you. So if you'll join me in our board affirmation, we give of our love, creating a world that works in harmony. And our offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So I am tickled that a lot of times when I come up with songs just kind of like spur the moment of what I'm going to play, it's not really spur the moment. It's kind of like universe is like, you know, you're going to do this. And that's the case with this one. This actually came up after Beth was talking about how we chose Reverend John, but Reverend John chose us, kind of thing. And so here we go. Most people will know this as an Old Navy song. If you were falling, then I would catch you. You need a light. I'd find a match, 'cause I love the way you say good morning, and you take me the way I am. If you are chilly, here, take my sweater. Your head is aching, I'll make it better, 'cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. I'd buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair. So on patches to all you tear, 'cause I love you more than I could ever promise, and you take me the way I am. You take me the way I am. You take me the way I am.
I got ahead of myself. Sweet Spirit, we are grateful for these gifts given today and for those we receive throughout the week. Inspire us to use them wisely to strengthen and support our mission and vision and the work that we share with our community partners. We send our love and prayers to everyone who has been adversely affected by natural disasters and man-made conflicts, and we pray for everyone and anyone who is facing challenges of any sort. We affirm their needs are fulfilled with loving kindness, compassion, and the resources required to restore wholeness and peace of mind. Strengthen us to stand for what is right and good, especially in the face of intolerance and inequity. Remind us to respond to fear-based thinking with love, compassion, justice, as we affirm that divine order is always present. Amen. And if you'll, thank you. And if you'll join me in the prayer for protection, rise as you are able, bringing the service to the close. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now we'll sing the prayer for protection and hold hands as you wish. Peace song, yes. Starts with a P. Not really.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was